Have you ever had a visit from the good idea fairy and it turns out that that idea wasn't so great after all? Maybe you thought, oh, I know, I can make a better alarm clock.
Oh!
Yeah, maybe just stick to the alarm clock that's on your iPhone. Now, Microsoft had an idea like this back in the mid-90s, right when they were moving from the command line interfaces to graphical user interfaces. They thought to themselves, how can we make computing and using our software as easy as possible? And their solution? Clip It, or better known as Clippy. Now, Clippy was designed to be a helpful aid, but in reality, he was painfully annoying and he ended up haunting the nightmares of every office worker all around the world. We've come a long way since the 90s in the way that we help onboard and guide new users. From things like hyper-focused tailored onboarding experiences to simpler things like tooltips on Hover. Now, the market segment of software tools that aim to solve this problem are called digital adoption platforms, or DApps for short. Now, DApps make up a massive market with a ton of players that's projected to grow to over 15 billion US dollars over the next 5 years. If you're a founder, indie hacker, or entrepreneur, chances are you probably have some competitors. And in this video, we are going to dive deep into DApps and we're going to advise a real founder of a DApp on how he should price his software to compete in this explosive, competitive market. Along the way, we'll teach you some secrets to stand out amongst your competition and show you how to charge more for your product without changing a thing. This is Hugo. He, along with his team, have been working and growing Helppier since 2016. Now, Helppier is a player in the DApp space that focuses specifically on making it easy to create user guides, automated product tours, and in-app messaging. Now, Hugo came to us with a very simple question that you've probably asked yourself a time or two. Can I charge more for my product without changing anything? Now, on the surface, it's a simple question, but in order to answer it correctly, it requires doing some deep market research and talking with some of the big players in the DApp space. Now, if my partner Diego had a superpower, it's analyzing markets and going deep on research. So I did what any good partner who's on vacation would do in this situation. Hey Diego, we've got to do that Helppier video this week and I was wondering if you could help tackle some of that market research for us.
All right, say no more. I'm on it.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
I'm gonna need a lot of Red Bull.
One week later.
So when I got back from vacation, the very first thing I did was jump on a call with Diego to debrief on everything that he learned and did over the past week. Now, if you couldn't tell from that pretty sweet 80s montage, he went in. He did a full competitive analysis, built price elasticity curves, did pricing page teardowns galore. Heck, he even had conversations with two of the CEOs of two of the biggest DApp players in the space, Inline Manual and AppQs. Now, rather than letting that half-hour call play out in this video, let's just talk about the big picture here. Now, we know that the market for dApps is filled with competitors of all sizes. But just because you have a bunch of competitors doesn't necessarily mean that you can't carve out your slice of the pie. Especially when it's a $15 billion pie like the dApp market. Now, whether you're in the dApp space or not, I like to think that there are around these 7 main ways that you can stand out in a crowded market. Now, for Hugo and the Helppier team, Diego specifically suggests that they differentiate by being the low price tool for the overserved market of early stage companies. Now, this makes a lot of sense. When you think about it, there are a ton of indie hackers and entrepreneurs looking for a cheaper, lightweight solution for Adapt in comparison to the existing tools out there today that cost $100, $150 a month and have way more features than what's actually needed at the early stages. And actually, Helppier is already positioned pretty well to do just that. Their current standard plan is $39 per month, but Diego actually felt that they're leaving money on the table. There's this weird psychological phenomenon where if something is priced too low, consumers actually feel that it may lack quality. A good example of this is the eyewear company Warby Parker. When they first got started, they had this grand plan of disrupting the big box players by undercutting them on their ridiculous $600 to $1,000 price point for a measly pair of glasses. Now, initially, Warby Parker was actually priced at $50 a pair, and at that price, consumers actually thought it was sketchy. Turns out they raised their prices to $99 a pair and their conversions skyrocketed. Here's a quick mock-up that Diego put together with his 3 suggested pricing tiers and all of his rationale for why it makes sense for Helppier. Now you can pause the video here if you'd like to take a deeper look, but the main differences are that he's suggesting raising the standard plan price from $39 to $49 a month and adding a separate middle tier with variable price points that scale with companies as they grow. Now, at the end of my debrief call with Diego, I had to ask him what was his secret behind charging more for a product without changing anything. And here's exactly what he had to say.
Yeah, and this is one thing I've noticed, that founders are often hesitant to raise prices, when in reality, even massive companies like Spotify, Loom, Dropbox, they experiment with pricing changes all the time. So my advice would be to just do it. That being said, customer communication is key. I would say, ideally, I would grandfather in Helppier's existing customers into their plans, but I would still communicate with them that if they were to upgrade their plan, they will need to pay the current price.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks a lot, Diego.
Cheers.
Now, as an entrepreneur, indie hacker, or fellow founder, I don't have to convince you about the importance of feedback while trying to reach product market fit. But in full transparency, Diego and I, we're still new to this whole consulting, startup, YouTube video game, and the way in which we measure whether we are building something that people enjoy and find useful is by the number of subscribers, likes, and comments we get on this very channel. So if you have feedback or have a suggestion on a video or a company you'd like us to work with, please leave us a comment below. And if you'd like to show your support for what we're doing, please toss this video a like and consider subscribing for even more content just like this. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.